Hi everyone! So I received a lot of requests lately to do a tutorial about my workflow with the hair, and especially the Hair&Fur modifier inside 3ds Max, and how I use the Hair&Fur modifier to create hair for an in-game purpose. So I'm gonna show you in this tutorial. I'm gonna show you only the modeling because the texturing part I'm still not really. I still think that there's a lot of things that should be tweaked. I'm sure that I'm not really happy right now with my workflow for the texturing. So for now, I just probably show you only the modeling part, but anyway, the texturing part is just there is nothing really difficult to do. It's just painting hairs on a texture. And for the modeling, this is a head, and we're gonna try to create hairs with a lot of hair plane all around this head by using the Hair&Fur modifier. So to do that, the first thing we're gonna do is just creating the initial plane for the hair that's gonna be duplicated all around the head. So for this, I'm just gonna go to the I'm just gonna create a plane. So I'm gonna go to the front view, and just right at the side of your character, it doesn't matter anyway, just create a plane. The size doesn't matter, so don't worry about the ratio of the length and the width. So just do a rectangle, and the length and the width doesn't matter. It can be big, small. For now, there is no. It's alright. So when I'm done, I'm just gonna play with the segment settings, and I'm probably gonna want just one segment for the width, and let's see, probably go with 7. Okay, for this character maybe I'm gonna try to do some long hairs, so I'm gonna try to add a little bit of segment for this. So the thing you have to know is the more you're gonna put length segment on this plane, and the more you're gonna be able to bend without it's gonna be smoother. But keep in mind that this plane is gonna be duplicated 100 of times and maybe 1,000 of times. So if you do something too heavy in polygon for the original plane, when it's gonna be duplicated 1,000 times, you're gonna have a really heavy polygon for the hair. So just try to find the right value, but don't worry too much, because anyway you're gonna be able to go back and change the segment value if you think that it's too much, not enough. So just try to, at the beginning, just try to find a good value, play with the hairstyle of your character, and after that you're gonna be able to see to change the value without changing the hairstyle anyway. So it's gonna be alright. So for this example, I'm just gonna use the length segment 8 and the width segment 2, and I'm gonna convert this into a editable poly. And the reason why I wanted a segment here on the middle is because I'm gonna move this a little bit on the y-axis, and the reason is it's because I want to be able to see the plane on the side view, and it's gonna help me to have a little bit have better volume on for the hairs. If you don't do that, the reason why I'm doing this, if I don't do that, if I'm looking this hair on the side view, I won't be able to see it. And sometimes it can be weird if you turn around your character and you see some strength that disappearing. So it's this reason. But again, that's adding a lot of polygons. So depending on what you're trying to do and what the polygons you are trying to achieve, sometimes it's not a good idea to do that. Anyway, the next thing you need to do is playing with the pivot point, and the pivot point, the position of the pivot point for this plane is gonna be the point where the plane gonna grow from the head. So we're gonna want to move the pivot point. Oops, sorry. We're gonna want to move the pivot point at the base of the plane, and it can stay at the middle, in the middle of the width, and something like this should be alright. Okay, and now we are ready to. I just want to test this plane onto the head, so I'm gonna select my head. Maybe a good idea would be to organize our scenes. So I'm gonna open the layer manager, and I'm just gonna select my head and create a new layer. I'm gonna call this ref head, because this is gonna be my reference for the head. And this one gonna be, let's say, we're gonna call that hair. Construction hair, because it's gonna be in this layer we're gonna put all the layer that we're gonna use to build the hair all around the head. And this way, if I'm selecting the head, I'm gonna start to create a Hair&Fur modifier this way, and don't worry, right now it's super weird, like it looks like a bear or something. It's just gonna, right now I just want to test my plane, see if it's oriented in the right position, if it's the plane doesn't go inside the head, for example, or if it's not twisting in the wrong direction. And so I'm gonna select the hair, and into the Hair&Fur modifier, if I go to the tools menu, you see this is the instance node, and this is what we're gonna use for this workflow. What this means is if I click on the none button and then select my plane, you see that all the hairs has been replaced by this geometry, and it can work with anything. It doesn't have to be a plane or something like that. It can work with anything, with cube, with sphere, with custom geometry. Anything would work with this. Oh, and I remember I forgot to do the UVs for this, but I'm gonna do that now. So when you're gonna do the when you're gonna set the instance node for the Hair&Fur modifier, the good thing about this, and the geometry that's gonna be duplicated all around the hair, gonna keep the UVs on the original mesh, and this is a good thing. So we're gonna be able to create do the UVs for that. Since it's just a simple plane, I'm just gonna go and click on the pill mode and go back and put that off again. So this way I know I got the good ratio. Alright, and I'm gonna collapse this. So now my UVs are done. I can go back to the head, click on the instance node, select my plane, and you see now that the hair has been duplicated all over the head. And I'm gonna try to bump the hair count, something like maybe 200, and for now, since right now I just want to build the hairstyle, right now it's just for testing purpose. I don't want any randomness, so it's gonna be much easier for me to to see. So the random scale, which means the differences between the longest hair and the smallest one, I want something to 0. You see, if I bump it to 100, you see that we're gonna have a lot of randomness. Some's gonna be really small, some's gonna be really large, and right now it's more disturbing for me. So I want 0, and no, I'm gonna go to the freeze parameter, and I don't want any freezeness, so everything is straight. And if I go to the style hair, if I go in, I click on this button, I'm gonna go into the style hair mode, and now you see I'm able to see all the hair guide that the hair plane follow. You see if I moving this guide, the geometry gonna follow this guide, and this is how we're gonna be able to do the hairstyle for this character. And a nice tool for this is the Recon button, and what it does, it's gonna just I'm just gonna click on this, and you see the effect that I got. All the it's like if you adding some initial gravity to your hairs, and it's I think, in my opinion, it's always a good thing to start clicking on this button. So we got the like a gravity going on the character, and then twink from this. And the first thing you're gonna notice right now is it's a good thing we did this test, because the mesh is not oriented properly. You see that the face are facing are inverted. Actually, it's not inverted, but I need to rotate this my original geometry. So the thing is, you don't want to rotate the mesh by directly the mesh. Actually, you want to keep the orientation of the pivot point the same, and you want to select all the face and orient this face, so the orientation of the pivot point is gonna be the same, but the geometry it's gonna be different. So I select all the face, and I just gonna activate the angle snap, so I'm gonna be able to I'm gonna be on top view. It's gonna be easier for me, and I'm gonna rotate this from 180 this way, and maybe move this a little bit like this. Alright, so if I go back to the head and select again my geometry, you see now it's oriented properly. Now it's working. This is more what I want. So this modifier was just for testing the right orientation and knowing that alright, so now we're ready to work with the hair. So now I'm just gonna delete this, because I don't like to work directly with the geometry for the head. I prefer to create geometry that's gonna be used only for the that's gonna where the hair is gonna grow, and because this way I'm gonna be able to manage and create some parts, some areas, different areas that gonna be able to select really quickly, and it's gonna be easier for me. For example, if you need to do a parting, and let's say you got a part where the hairs on the front goes to the left and the other side go to the right, and if you have if you put a hair modifier directly onto your character, you got some tool for doing that, but I think it's taking a little bit more time than just creating the each part of the hair, and then from one to and then grow the hair on each part. I'm sorry, really sorry about my English. I know I got a lot of trouble trying to find my words, and I know that my accent is really terrible, so if you can understand me, that's good, but if you can't understand me, just please send me write a comment into these videos, and I will try to answer this with better words, so don't hesitate to ask me things. So how I gonna create this geometry onto the character really quickly? I think the best way to do that is to selecting the head you want to create that the geometry gonna be created from, and instead of let's say selecting the face and detaching the face, etc., etc., I prefer a more dirty way to do that, but a way more quicker way, and this is by using this option here. In the freeform tab, you see that we can ask, we want to draw onto a surface, and we're gonna select the surface we want to draw on. So that's gonna be this head, and I'm gonna activate the X-ray mode for this head, so I'm gonna be able to see through this. And I'm gonna create a new object. If you can't see any option here, it's because you need to select an editable poly first, and then you're gonna see all those tools. You're gonna be able to see the tool, but if you have some trouble to see those options here, it's probably because you got nothing selected, or you got something selected that is not an editable poly. The only way you're gonna be able to see those options is by selecting first an editable poly, and my head is one of them, and now I'm able to see all these options. And now if I go into the poly draw menu and I click on the new object, you see that it's gonna create me an editable poly but with nothing inside. So this is an empty object, and this is gonna be really good for me. I'm gonna start geometry from nothing. This is what I want, and we're gonna use this tool, this one, the surface tool. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna create a quick topology, and that's gonna automatically snap onto the head, because we said earlier that we want to paint onto the head. And while the topology is gonna be really dirty, for the hair we don't really care about the topology. The more important thing is that all the size of all the polygons are roughly the same. We don't want to have like a tiny polygon and then a bigger one, etc., because we're gonna have a lot of issue with the distribution of the hair. The distribution of the hair is gonna depend on the size of the polygon. So with this option, we're gonna have a dirty topology, but we're gonna be sure that the scale of each polygon gonna be almost the same. So this is perfect for what we are trying to do. And you see that if I'm trying to paint on my character right now, you see that my polygons are way too big, and you can change the size of the polygon if you go again into the poly draw menu, and if you change the minimum distance. And for example, probably gonna want something like 1. Yeah, and now you see, if I click and drag onto the head, I'm gonna be able to quickly draw a surface, and the surface is gonna be snapped onto the head, so it's gonna follow the head, and this is perfect for what I'm gonna try to do. So now a good thing would be to think about the let's say how many parts we need and where the parts should be. So for this character, let's say that I'm gonna try to have a front bangs, something like some hair that go almost into the eyes on the front, and maybe some strands on the side of the head, a lot longer than the one on the front. So it's gonna frame the head, and maybe some other hairs on the side that's gonna go a little bit in front of the ears and a little bit behind the ears, and then like on the on the top, probably gonna want to divide this into two parts. So there gonna be a parting there. So it's gonna be some hair that go this way on this side and the other way on the other side. So I'm probably gonna need to divide to have one side of the hair and the other side different object too, and I'm probably gonna have to have another part for the back of the hair, so it's gonna be easier for me to manage. So let's start with this. Let's first create the surface for the front. So I'm gonna select my surface tool and I'm just gonna paint the area where I know the hair is gonna grow. Something like this. Remember that you can, if you release your left mouse button and you want to add a little bit more geometry from the surface you already created, if you click again, you see that it's not gonna be connected to the surface you already draw. So in order to avoid this issue, before clicking you can just press the shift key, and now that I'm pressing the shift key, if I click and drag, you see now the new geometry that I'm gonna add gonna be connected to my mesh. So this is really useful. And another thing is, if you created some geometry and you want to tweak the position of this geometry, you can use those brushes. Those brushes are really useful, and I'm using them all the time when I'm doing the topology for my character, and they can be useful for this purpose too. For example, if I'm using the move conform brush and I'm using a high value for the conform, something higher than 1, let's say 5. I can then move my geometry and it's still gonna snap onto the head. So this is really useful. So for example, I can go and try to refine the shape of this object, of this surface, and when I'm done, I can even use the relax conform brush, and it's gonna relax the point, and it's still gonna snap onto the mesh too. This brush is a brush that I'm using a lot of time when I'm doing topology. Like sometimes I create some topology and I want to relax a little bit and try to smooth the topology, but I don't want to lose I still want to snap onto the high resolution mesh I was building on, so I'm using this brush. It's really useful. Alright, something like that should be alright. Probably go a little bit too. I should be better this way. Okay, so I can now create a new object, a new empty object, create a surface tool, and I'm gonna you can overlap on surface that you already created. Actually, it's sometimes it's a good idea to do that, and this is where the long part of the hair is gonna, the hair that's gonna frame the face, gonna grow from. So something like this. Let's say I want to delete this part, this object here, right? Okay, I'm just gonna do this for one side for now, and then I'm gonna duplicate it to the other side. So I said that I wanted like a, oops, I forgot to create a new object, new empty object, and now I'm gonna do for the size. So I want something here. You see, this tool is really powerful to create quickly some geometry. I really like to use that for this purpose. Okay, something like this should be nice. A bit of relax. So got uniform side for the polygon. Probably gonna move this a little bit here and bring this a little bit back. You see it's really dirty, but I don't really care. For the hair, it's gonna be alright. And anyway, when the hair, when we are done with the hair and fur, we're gonna delete those geometry anyway, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna do the same thing for the back of the hair. So again, gonna create a new object, create a surface here. Alright, something like this. It might work. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go a little bit lower. Okay. And now I'm gonna just select those. You know what? I'm gonna freeze the layer where I got the head. So this way I won't be able to select it anymore. And I'm gonna add a symmetry modifier. Depending on the side you created your mesh, you're probably gonna have to flip the symmetry plane. Alright. I'm gonna collapse this and I'm gonna detach this. So it's two different objects. It's gonna be easier to manage after that. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this one, but for this one I need to uncheck the slice along mirror, so you see that it doesn't merge the vertices on the center of my mesh, and I don't want to weld the seam too. So this way I'm gonna be able to color this, and you see that it's two different elements. I wouldn't be able to select one element from the other one if I didn't uncheck the two options in the symmetry modifier. And I'm gonna detach one of them, change the color, so it's gonna be easier for me to see the part. And now we're probably ready to create the Hair&Fur modifier. So I'm gonna start with the front, and probably gonna say before, because yeah, you need to know that the honestly the Hair&Fur this workflow is really not stable. The Hair&Fur modifier is not really stable and it crashes a lot. I don't know if it's a problem coming from my computer or it's me doing something wrong, but I got a lot of crash with this modifier. So a good thing would be to try to save your file the most you can, because probably gonna experience some crash with the Hair&Fur modifier. Alright, and when you're ready, just add a Hair&Fur modifier. Okay, this way, and I'm gonna select my plane. Okay, probably go into the shaded mode, because I don't really like the you see you can see kind of a noisy mesh, especially with the mesh that is in X-ray. You can see that it's when you move the camera, it starts to be really noisy, and then it gradually became better. But I don't really like this effect when I'm working with X-ray object, so I'm probably gonna go to shaded mode, so now there is no noise effect. It's better for me. And first of all, I'm just gonna play with the parameters with my hair. And For the front, probably gonna go for something, let's start with something like 100 hairs. It's probably a little bit too much, but it just, for this tutorial, I don't really care about the poly count. I just want to show you how you're gonna be able to use the Hair&Fur modifier. So for me, the count won't be an issue. And the other thing you're probably gonna want to change is the random scale. I already explained what it is, and it's gonna be the randomness of this size of your hairs. So I don't want too much randomness from now. Probably gonna, when I'm done with the hairstyle with all the parts, probably gonna play a little bit more with the randomness, but at the beginning I don't like to have too much randomness because I think it's more distracting than anything else. And this is the root thick, and the root thick is something really useful. Even if you using geometry, you're still gonna be able to change the thickness of your geometry, and you're gonna be able to do that with the root thickness. And you see that if I'm playing with this parameter, if I give a high value for this, I'm gonna have something really large, some hairs really large, and it's gonna be really useful when we're gonna try to style the hair. And when we're done, we're gonna try to play with this parameter, try to hide all the hole into our hair, into our haircut, so we won't be able to see the skull anymore. So for now, I'm just gonna choose a value of 32 right now. And yeah, this is something that honestly I really don't know if it's possible or not, but you see you got a parameter that is called scale, but this parameter is locked to 100, and you can't go higher than the 100. And honestly, this is really annoying for me. So if one of you know a way to have a uniform scale, to be able to change the uniform scale higher than 100, it would be great, because even if I'm tapping a high value like 500, you see nothing happens, and I think for me it's really annoying. I don't really like. I'm pretty sure there's a way to be able to change uniformly the scale for all the hairs at the same time with the parameters, but I still didn't find one. So if I want to have long hairs, the only way that I found right now is go to the style hair menu, and we're gonna use a brush to do that. But I don't think it's the best way to do that, but honestly this is the only way that I found to scale the hair if you want long hair. But before that, I just want to do a recon. So now you see that my hairs are oriented properly the way I want. Oh, and sorry, before doing that, I want to the freeze parameter, I want no freeze at all for the root nor the tip. So this way, again, the randomness, probably gonna tweak this later when I'm done with all the parts. But right now I don't want this. I just want that the hair follow the hair guide. It's gonna be easier for me to tweak my hairstyle. And now I can go back to the style hair, and you see you got different options. And in the styling menu, in the styling group, you're gonna have all the different brush, and the first one gonna be the translate brush, and it's probably gonna be the brush that you're gonna use the most. And this is the brush that you're gonna be able to yeah, I think you get the idea. The other one is the stand brush. And if you want to change the size of your brush, it's gonna be this slider. If you change the value of this slider, you can have a pretty big brush size. And so the next brush gonna be the stand brush. The stand brush gonna be useful to add volume for your hair. you see that if I clicking and then dragging, I got the hair that's standing ahead. The puff fruit, honestly, doing pretty much the same thing. Yeah, almost the same thing. Honestly, I just playing with the stand brush for now. I don't need too much to play with the puff fruits. The stand brush is already plenty enough for me. You got brush for the I'm gonna recommend it. You got a brush for the clump. If you want to, it's like, think about the pinch brush into the brush, and you're gonna be able to pinch to clump some strands this way, strand of hair this way, and you're gonna have another. Just let me reset the hair. The next brush gonna be the rotate one, and okay, this one I don't remember ever using this, but you see you can have a interesting effect, I guess, if you want. It's just gonna rotate the hair inside the your brush radius, but yeah, honestly I prefer to just use the my translate brush, and for now I still didn't use the rotate brush, but I don't know, maybe it can give some nice effect you can play with. And the last brush gonna be the one that we're gonna use right away, it's the scale brush. And the scale brush, like obviously it's gonna change the size of your brush, so you see, and it's gonna affect the length of your mesh, but also the thickness. So that's why probably a good idea first of all trying to change the scale of your oops. It's probably gonna be better to change the scale of your hairs, and when you are happy with the scale, go back to the parameter menu. To be able to change the parameter, you need to go out of the style hair mode, and if I go to the go back to parameter menu and then tweak the root thickness, because you see that when I scale my hair, the thickness scale too. Alright, so now we're ready to play with the with this. So I'm gonna just go back from the beginning. So if I go into the tools menu and click on the regrow hair, I'm gonna go back from the beginning. So I go back to the side hair, and I'm gonna be the first thing I would want to do is recon the hair this way, and using the scale brush with a big brush size this way, I'm gonna scale the hair until it reaches the eyes this way. And now using the translate brush, I'm gonna be able to yeah, this is exactly what I was speaking about. The thing is, the Hair&Fur modifier is, I think it's really buggy. I don't know if it's coming from my computer, if you're gonna experience the same thing with that, but I had a lot of trouble like this one, and if this is happening, remember that you have to know that the hotkey Control Z doesn't work with the Hair&Fur modifier. Yeah, this is another thing that's really weird and really annoying, but the Control Z doesn't work with the Hair&Fur modifier. Hopefully we got something into the utilities that is called undo, and it's gonna be you're gonna be able to undo the tweak you did, but remember that the Control Z doesn't work with this, and if you want to undo, you're gonna have to use this button. Alright, so yeah, and using the undo button, you see that the hair guide has been updated, but not the mesh, but it's alright, just move a little bit the hair and the viewport's gonna be updated right after. So I'm gonna try again to tweak that. So just take your time and move the hair guide the way you want. So probably gonna give a little bit of direction this way into my hair, something more interesting. And you got different section mode that's gonna affect the way your brush is affecting the hair guide. By default, you are in the select wall guide, so that means the brush gonna affect the wall length of your hair guide. But you can say select hair by ends, and now you see that you got some little ticks at the end of the hair guide. So this way, so that means the brush only gonna affect the end of your hair. So if I'm trying to brush, you see the roots of the hair, nothing happens. And it can be useful to sometimes if you're using the default mode, the select wall guide, you can have some fuzziness into the spline, and in a way, if I found that my I can achieve a much smoother result using this mode, just grabbing with my brush, grabbing the ends of the hair. I find that I got something much smoother. But if I need to have more control, I then switch back to this mode. So let's say you want to give a little bit of direction into the hair, and you want to, let's say I want a little bit more volume in this area, and grab this. So if I want to do that, I'm probably gonna go to this mode. But at the beginning, I prefer to use the select by end, so it gives me most of the time I got much smoother result for the hair guide. So alright, keep brushing your hairs. Something like this, and you can also use the here in the styling group. You see that you can say that you want your brush to behave like a hairbrush, or you can say it can be a haircut mode. And if you go into the haircut mode, you see that you still got your brush size, that you can send the size of your brush with this slider. But now it's just gonna cut everything that is inside the brush radius. So for example, if I'm clicking here, you see that all the hair that was inside my brush radius are gone. And this is something really good. For example, the way that we separate this into different parts for the hair, one of the reasons why we did that is especially for this kind of tool here, the haircut, because let's say that you did this for all the head at the same time, you're probably gonna have some into the same geometry, you're probably gonna have some hairs in the back and hairs on the front, and if you want to cut just the front hair, you probably have some probably gonna have some issue, and you're gonna cut also the one that is on the back. You got some option to in your back face hair, but sometimes even if it's on, maybe you're gonna grab one and one hair, and you're gonna realize later that you cut an area that you didn't want it to cut. And since, like I said, the endo features is really let's say strange, it's it can be really difficult to fix that, and you're probably gonna have to redo the hair all over. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like to separate the hairs into different objects. So let's go back to the styling mode, and using the word guide now, probably gonna bring the hair a little bit closer to the head, and I'm gonna use the stand brush, so I'm gonna be able to, oh shit, yeah, okay, now it's time to honestly it's time to save your mesh, because the behavior, you saw that the behavior of my brush was really weird. So yeah, you see I wanted to add a little bit of volume for the roots, but it's all inverted. Now it's grabbing the hand instead of the roots. I don't know why it's doing this, honestly. Probably, maybe if I select guide by roots, gonna change something. No, it doesn't. Okay, when you got some weird behavior like this, it's probably gonna be the time to save your file, and I suggest you to save this onto another file than the one you were working on. So if it's corrupted or something, you won't lose your file. But yeah, when this happens, I need to close my 3ds Max and reopen this. It's really annoying, and honestly, yeah, the Hair&Fur modifier is really buggy. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's coming from me or if it's the same for you. You probably, if you trying to do this workflow, tell me if you got the same issue as me. I don't know if it's the version I'm using. I'm using 3ds Max 2013. I don't know if it's because of this version that is a little bit buggy with the Hair&Fur modifier. But or maybe I need to do something, or I'm doing something wrong. So if you know what I'm doing wrong, please tell me too. I really love to know. So now if I go back to the styling mode and select the stand mode. Yeah, now you see that it's giving me what I was trying to achieve. Yeah, now it's better. Now I'm able to give a little bit of volume to the hair. And now I can go back and try to tweak a little bit more. Okay. Okay, I think we are done for the front. And another thing as well that I wanted to show you is sometimes it may happen that, especially if you're working with a low value for the hair count, let's say we got 50 hair, and sometimes you see the distribution is not ideal. You see that here I got a hole and it's not really good looking, and you can go into the randomization parameters and play with the seed, and what it's gonna do is for each value it's gonna be a different distribution of your hair, and you can try different value until you got one that you like the most. For example, this one is not so bad, but yeah, this one is really ugly, and this one it doesn't work for me too. So yeah, it's a little bit like playing until you find the right one. Yeah, this one is really bad. So if you got some issue like this, probably it's a good idea to go to the randomization parameter and play with this value until you find something that you like. Okay, I'm really not lucky right now. I'm probably gonna go, the value of 3 was probably the best for me. I said 3. Alright. So yeah, it's useful, especially when your hair count is really low. So you get the idea. So now I'm gonna switch to another part, and I could create a Hair&Fur modifier like I did for this one, and then trying to go to the instance node, trying to select my mesh from my geometry, and then tweak the parameters again, the same as I used for this one. But a quicker way to do this is selecting your first part of the hair that you already tweaked, and right click onto the Hair&Fur modifier and click on copy. And then go back to the next hair, the next geometry you want to grow the hair from, and right click on the editable poly and click on paste. And while the hairstyle will be resetted, you're still gonna have the parameter set. So that means the random scale, I changed the random scale, and it's the same here, so I don't have to change it again. The freeze parameter is gonna be at 0 like I did for the first one. I don't have to change it again. And same thing for the instance node. The instance node is already set correctly, so I think it's a quicker way to do that. So since this geometry is way smaller than the first one, probably don't need that much hair, so probably go with 50 hair and go to the style hair mode. With a big brush size, I'm gonna scale the hair. You know what, probably a good idea to save again. You see my general rules when I'm saving my file. I always have at least a free version of my files, and every time I'm saving onto the oldest one, so it's like it's making a roll from all the my save file, instead of just having one file saved that I'm saving over. And if one day my file is corrupted, I lose everything. I prefer to at least got a free version of my save file, so if one day one is corrupted, I still can go back to the previous one. It's a safer way to do. So I'm gonna save it on the oldest one. Alright, and go back here. Yeah, it's really buggy. Okay, now I gotta comb this. Probably gonna want something this way. And then I have to tweak the random thickness. Okay, this way. And let's go back to the style hair. And now I can tweak the hair. Alright, brush until I got the style I want. I'm gonna try to have something that's a little bit pointy at the end. Okay, I'm gonna trick with the select the wall guide. I'm gonna try to bring this a little bit back this way. Okay, and I'm gonna try to add a little bit of volume at the beginning, at the root of my hair. Using the perf roots can give you good result too. Okay, something like this, and go back to the translate brush. And probably there is too much hair, or still too much hair. Yeah, I can bring this a lot more down. Yeah, maybe 14 is gonna be enough for me. I can go back to the style hair, and probably gonna want to scale this even more. I want something longer. Alright, it's working for me. For this tutorial I won't do all the parts, probably won't do the symmetric part. I'm gonna do just those parts so you get the idea. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this area, so I'm just gonna right click, past. Alright, so now I can go to the style hair mode, Recon this, and with a big brush size value I'm gonna be able to tweak the scale of the hair. So it goes almost touch almost the bottom of the hair. This way should be right. Probably gonna need to go and tweak the root thickness again. Yeah, something like that should be good. And I'm gonna save again. I tend to be a little bit paranoid when I'm using the Hair&Fur modifier. And yeah, we can go to the style hair. Alright, I'm gonna keep a brush pretty big, and I'm gonna bring this to the side. Alright, this way. But I think now you get the idea how it's working. Okay, now it's probably going to be a good time to add a little bit of volume here. Or using the puff root. I think the difference is between the puff roots and the stand is the stand gonna give volume for the whole hairs, so that means it's gonna give also a little bit of volume for the ends of the hair, while the puff root is just gonna give volume to the roots and not so much for the ends. So it could have a nice effect. Okay, I want here to be behind the bangs. I want the bangs to be the front bangs to be on top of everything. And you see that yeah, the seed for this this part is not the best one, so probably gonna try to play with other value. This one is worse. Okay, this one is alright, the 0. Yeah, 14 is not so bad. Okay. And another thing that I want to show you is into the styling mode, you got another mode for the styling. I already showed you the brush mode, the haircut mode, and the last one is the select mode. And what the select mode gonna do is gonna save again. Yeah, sometime I remember that it's been a long time, some minutes that I didn't save, and yeah, since I tend a little bit paranoid, I prefer to save every time I'm thinking about saving, especially with the Hair&Fur modifier. And yeah, so the select tool, you're gonna be able to select just some part of the hair. So you see that all the orange hair guide are the one that is being selected, and by default everything is selected. And so the one way of doing that is we're gonna be able to the yellow hair guide means that the hair is not selected, and with this tool I'm gonna be able to select some hair, and then using the hair brush, I'm gonna be able to brush, but only the hair guide I selected. You see that the one in yellow won't move even if I'm trying to brush them, and it can be useful for some part. Okay, so now you see my undo button doesn't work anymore. This is so annoying. Sometimes it can be really annoying to work with the Hair&Fur modifier. So yeah, if you know a way to fix that, or if you know that there is something I'm doing wrong and I can avoid this kind of issue, yeah, please tell me, because this is really annoying. Okay, so it can be useful especially for area around the ears. And you see, I'm gonna be able to select some of the hair that is in front of the ears and say, okay, this one gonna go, those hairs gonna lay on top of the hair, in front of the hairs, this way, and then I'm gonna select and control I to invert the selection, and I'm gonna say, okay, and those one gonna go behind. And while it's not super clean, and you see that there is still some interpolation that is going there between the two parts, and this is really this is why I prefer to do different geometry. Again, this is another reason why I prefer to do different parts, because yeah, if you do that on the whole, for the whole, it's gonna be really difficult to have distinct separation between two hair guy. But you still can give a little bit of flow in your hair. But at the end, we're probably gonna have to manually select the hairs, the hair plane that we don't like, and then move the geometry by hand, so we got a good result. But at least we still can go make a little bit of the work and give a nice flow, a nice intention into the direction of the hair. So we got at least this. Alright, so I'm gonna go back and select everything because I want to scale all the hairs. And I really hate this modifier. You see that I lost all my yeah, sometimes it happens too. Right now I lost all the change I did when I went out of the styling mode. Yeah, sometimes you need to have a lot of patience because sometimes it's really difficult to work with this tool. Yeah, it happens. I cursed my computer. You can hear me cursing the computer sometimes. Right now I'm not doing this because I know that some people are listening to me, and if I was alone I would be cursing right now. Okay, so let's go back and let's tweak again the hairs. Okay, I want to scale, but just this part here. Try to bring this a little bit closer to the head. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back. Okay, now it works. I'm gonna save this. Probably a better idea to go out of the style hair mode before saving, and then go back in. But honestly, I don't even know if what I'm saying right now is true or it's just voodoo thing or superstition thing. But yeah, I tend to become really superstitious with the Hair&Fur modifier because honestly, I sometimes really don't understand why it's fucking all this all my work for no reason. So again, I'm gonna do everything that I did before, trying to have a parting, create a kind of a parting on the hair. Okay, something like this. bringing this closer to the hair, something like this, and then I'm gonna select everything, try to smooth this a little bit more. Bring this back a little bit closer to the head. Yeah, probably gonna have to tweak the root here, so I'm gonna go to the stand brush and try to stand the hair here because they were penetrating the head. Okay, something like that. And yeah, this select brush can be useful, especially when you got some weird hair guide and that really doesn't work. You can select only this one and then brushing only this one, so you can okay, yeah, can go back to the select mode, Ctrl A to select everything and go back to brush. Let's see if I click and try to go out of the finished mode. Okay, I didn't lose everything. Probably a good time to save it. Let's go back. Probably gonna want to oops. Okay, I'm probably gonna want to go to the front bangs and give a little bit more volume. Okay, that's better. But I think you got the idea. I think I'm gonna stop. The tutorial is gonna be it's already more than 1 hour. I'm already speaking, so I'm gonna stop here, and I'm just gonna show you now how to convert this into geometry. And for this, it's really easy. Yeah, and before doing that, I just want to show you something really cool, and it's in the Dynamics menu, Dynamics tab here. And one of the cool things with the using the Hair&Fur modifier, wait, just let me save it again. Yeah, one of the cool things with the Hair&Fur modifier is even if you're using geometry as an instance, you're still gonna be able to use dynamics, which means you're gonna be able to simulate some wind into the hairs, or if you got some animation on your character, you're gonna be able to give a flow in the hair depending on the movement of the character. And to do that, if I just select the front bangs, for example, if I clicking just on the live, you see that's now it's moving. And the really cool thing about this is I can select the surface, the mesh of the surface, and play with it, and you see it's following the movement. Okay, so right now the movement of the hairs are super crazy, but it's because I need to tweak the value, some parameters. So I'm gonna go back to the Dynamics tab and gonna go back to the mode node, so it brings me back to the Hair&Fur by default. And the parameters probably gonna want to play with are the stiffness and the dampen. And the stiffness is gonna be the how strong the hair is gonna resist to the movement. So if you got a high value, like for example, if I got 1 for the stiffness, you see, yeah, the mesh doesn't move anymore. The hair doesn't move anymore. If I got something like 0.8, you see, it's moving a little bit, but yeah, it's really stick to the original position. So with the stiffness, you're gonna be able to find a good value between a shape that is keeping the same of the original one, but that also give a little bit of a nice gravity effect to your hair. For example, I like to use a value of 0.7 or 0.75, and now you see the difference. It's kind of like it smooths everything a little bit and kind of uniformize the silhouette. So yeah, I like to use this option, and again, if you got some movement, you can give some direction into the hairs. You won't be able to export this into a game engine, unfortunately, but sometimes it can be useful to bake the geometry into a position you want, and you're gonna be able to do that with this mod. Alright, so I'm just gonna use a value of stiffness of 0.75, and while it's still on the live mode, go back to the tool tab. You can find here, and you're gonna want to click on the convert hair to mesh. Click one, and now you see I got, and this one is only geometry. It's a editable mesh. I'm gonna convert this one editable poly, but now this is geometry, and you can even you see that if I check the unwrap, the unwrap are still there. The unwrap from the original plane are still there. So you're gonna be able to put this same material that you put on the original hair, and you're gonna be able to bring this back onto your mesh. And that's all. I think yeah, I just want to show you something else. I'm gonna go for each of them. I'm gonna convert this into a mesh. So I'm gonna go to the dynamic mode, go to live, and a stiffness of 0.775 is a value that I think works well. Okay, so now when I'm done, I'm gonna go and convert this into a mesh and select the last one, the last part, do the same thing. So go to the dynamics. Oh, sorry, it's not the right one. Okay, go into live mode and use a value of stiffness of 0.75, and I'm gonna convert this again as a mesh. Yeah, honestly, I forgot to keep this organized, so I'm gonna select everything and create a new layer. This one I'm gonna call this yeah, let's say simulation hair, because it's the hair that those are the surface from where the hair has been grown from. And I'm just gonna select all the mesh. Okay, this way, and I'm gonna create a new layer, and I'm gonna call this mesh hairs. So now I can hide all the layer but the hair mesh, and now you see this is the way you're gonna be able to generate your geometry. And last thing I wanted to show you is even at the end you still can tweak tweak the shape of your hair. And this is something I like to do. And when I'm done and when I converted everything into geometry, I still want to do another pass and tweak the geometry. And that means sometimes you see you got hole and you can still see the skull. So sometimes I like to go and try to make a pass and try, and when I see some area that's with this issue, just selecting an element and duplicate this and try manually to fix those common area, those problem. So this is a pass that can be a little bit tedious, but I think it's really you really have to take this time and try to tweak this the best you want. So for example, right now I got some I don't know, I think I saw the roots of the hair that is beneath, and yeah, this is really ugly, so sometimes you need to just one by one trying to tweak the hair. So for example, probably gonna want to bring one of the strands just to hide the roots of the hair that are below. This way, probably this one. And I like to use the screen reference coordinate system, so this way my gizmo is following the camera, and it's gonna be the same orientation as my camera, you see. So just, but you get the idea. I like to spend a little bit of time just trying to make it a little bit, to make it look a little bit better, because it can even if you apply the material, it can be ugly if you see the roots of the hair that is below. It's not a good idea. All right, so this is one of the way to tweak that. Another way, and where you can move the shape of the hair more globally, is by using the shift brush. This is another button that I used a lot. The shift brush is mostly like the move brush inside the brush, and you see that if I with a control press, and if I click and drag, I can change the brush radius, and with a shift press I'm gonna be able to change the radius of the full strength brush, and everything that is between the full strength and the fall off brush, you're gonna have a fall off in the strength. So with this brush, you're gonna be able, you see, to do another pass of tweaking. And for example, this way I'm gonna be able to, for example, to bring these side bangs on top of the hairs from the side. I can select the hairs from the side and bring this a little bit closer to the head, and try to add a little bit of volume to the bang, trying to have a much better curves this way, etc, etc. So yeah, this is another tool that you can use, and it can help you to tweak the shape really quickly. Another thing that I like to use. And I think that's wrapped everything that I could have I wanted to share with you. That's everything that I can think about for this workflow, and I hope that you found this interesting. And like I said, if you got any question, don't hesitate to leave a comment on these videos, and I'll try to answer all the comments, all the questions that I can. So yeah, thank you to go to the through this tutorial, and thank you for your patience, because I know my accent and my English is not really good, but you make it to the end, so I thank you for this. Bye.